NSW, what is the craziest truth or dare challenge you have ever seen performed? Well, we were all playing truth or dare. I got super drunk naked and had to be carried upstairs. No one dared me to get naked and don't know why I was. And now you're no longer invited to family Thanksgiving. I was at a friend's house and people were smoking and drinking. After a while, they started a game of truth or dare. Someone asked a girl which guy there she would frick. She pointed out a guy. He got all happy and crap. After about 15 minutes, I had to ask her. She picked dare. I jokingly told her to ride him for one turn then. As I was laughing, she got up, started to grab his dong over his pants, blew him for a few seconds to make it hard, and sat on him. She was using a skirt. Game didn't last long after that. Oh my. Sam Tolley. As young teens, my clique once dared the newbie in the group to get naked and hang at least 10 seconds from his fingertips on the concrete slab edge of a 90+ foot high bridge in our hometown. We gave him the opportunity to at least position himself over the narrow creek in the valley underneath in case he would lose his grip. We of course expected him to decline and for us to relentlessly dong him around for it. He promptly went out there with us in tow, got undressed and eased himself off the edge. He hung there for a good 20 seconds at least before painstakingly heaving himself up again, got dressed and opened his next beer. He wasn't the newbie anymore. He was the chosen one. Your friends are idiots, but ballsy idiots. A good friend of mine fricked a tub of hummus at my request in front of 25 teenagers cheering his name. We made the next person eat the hummus. Later that summer that friend and I ended up having sex and I couldn't stop making hummus jokes during. I'm a bad person. Edit to elaborate. Earlier during that summer camp he and I and a few friends were shooting the crap and playing frick marry kill. And my cousin and I basically forced this guy to say he would rather frick a tub of hummus than frick this one really sweet but not particularly alluring girl at our camp. Not present. He felt kind of bad about it but we started teasing him about hummus all the time. Until the last night of camp when we were all doing dares, and I realized how perfect it would be. I shot a bottle rocket off of my butt and burned the hair around my butthole when I was 16. Jack butt was really popular. Story time. So when I was a high school kid on those long band bus rides, we used to play truth or dare a lot to pass the time. One of my girlfriends, friend who is a girl, had this miraculous butt. God seriously smiled when he made that thing. Well, the dare one night was for me to lick her butthole on the band bus in front of everybody. I got dared to lick her butthole. I was grossed out at first, but then she dropped her pants, bent over, and now I have an butt face sitting fetish. Oh god, I think I might have short-circuited in that situation. In middle school I straight up saw a girl blow a dude on a dare. It was especially weird because the kinds of truths people were asking were have you ever made out with anyone, have you ever masturbated, etc. I once dared a dude to kiss the second hottest girl in the room. His girlfriend sat next to him. It was uncomfortable for everyone involved. You bastard. We were 3 guys and 4 girls. At some point one of the girls has chosen dare and she had to kiss a guy on the cheek. Elementary was intense. I remember when I was around 15 or 16, round a mate's house. We're both male. We played truth or dare with the babysitter. Female. Reason he had a babysitter is he had 2 younger sisters who were in bed by the time we began playing truth or dare. His parents didn't trust overnight supervision to 16-year-old kids, so they got in a 20-something to babysit. Anyway, babysitter also had 2 sisters, around our age. The dares obviously escalated to varying degrees of flirting and kisses, drinks, groping. But the furthest it got was that one of the dares were for me and my friend to suck on the babysitter's tea. Good times for a young adolescent. I should get a babysitter. Who cares if I'm 18? I was 13 at the time, and my entire class was sort of congregated around the middle table playing truth or dare. I was pretty psyched because my crush was sitting across me. Things got pretty serious when my childhood friend, a girl I grew up with in the same apartment complex, dared my crush to hold me hand. My crush started blushing and said she couldn't do it. The whole class started egging her on, chanting do it, and she finally relented and held my hand for like a whole 5 seconds. I was pretty ecstatic. I live in a conservative Asian country, so that was the craziest it was ever going to get in junior high. I bet she got pregnant from that. One time we were playing Truth or Dare as a rule in King's Cup. 3 guys 2 girls. Got to one of the girls and she said dare. Think of something good. Anything. And after she emphasized anything, I immediately blurted BJ's for everyone as a joke. Didn't think that would work. It was freshman year of HS in my friend's basement. We played this weird group version of the game where all girls went at the same time and vice versa for guys. We were all pretty drunk and it was my turn. I dared the girls to blow the guys, hoping to get my dong wet. 4 girls 5 guys. I was the loneliest mother staring at the TV with a bottle in my hand while my friends got their sausages wrapped. Edit. Highest rated comment is one of my worst HS memories. Guess that's life. This might actually be the saddest thing I have ever read. A girl was dared to lick my pinky toe. We didn't find out until after that she had a foot fetish. And no one found out that I do too. Degrees. Edit. It's weird how popular this comment is. But since some peeps are asking, so I'll try and explain. It was the hottest toe lick ever. As soon as it happened, the room went silent. We all felt the sexual tension. Every last one of us. We were all turned on by her toe lick. Oh yes, she was a lady, I was gentleman, and we both still are. After what felt like an eternity, she stopped staring at the spot where she licked and looked around the room. While I tried my best to hide my half chub, she piped up, "Sorry, I have a foot fetish." We were all good friends and had a good laugh, and while everyone else was laughing, we shared a curious look. We both wondered if we should address this situation in the future. In that moment, we silently agreed that that would be the end. Then I kissed a dude. Someone new and was clearly trying to set you two up. During a camping trip, my friends dared a buddy of mine to stick a Roman candle in his butt and light it. He made the best Roman candle stand ever. I think the best part was that his newlywed wife was there too. Her response? "I'll get the lube, honey." Yep, I've seen Roman candles backfire before. No thank you. Oh boy, German public high school. The definition of S-girls with a crappy attitude. We, group of maybe 20 people, aged 16-17, hang out in the cafeteria and play truth or dare. There's this girl, pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary, no signs of craziness. She choose truth. Question: what is something nobody knows about you? Her answer: I can fist myself wrist deep. Few people called bores. She proved it in front of the whole class. No alcohol involved. That's fantastic. We were 16 playing in my mate's living room. It started fairly benign. 2 girls kiss, etc. Anyway, as we got a little more drunk, we moved on to things like take all your clothes off and run the road that loops the village. The one that killed it though, the one that after conclusion made people question if they had gone too far, was when True or Dare turned into an assisted rape neither party wanted to be a part of. So, one of the girls dared one of the guys to shag another guy until one of them finished, and they had to do it where everyone could see. When their response was that nobody had lube, she helpfully produced it from her purse and aided in the application. She also helped the pitcher, I guess, to get into a more aroused state. Both of the guys involved were straight. I think the worst part, looking back, was that everyone else in the group just sat back drinking their drinks as they watched 2 16-year-old boys explore their sexuality. Once the dare was completed, we decided we were never going to play that game again and maybe just drink instead. To this day I have, personally, never played another game of True or Dare since that one. TLDR. Don't drink and dare. I never understood when dares included punishing someone else. Jim, I dare you to frick Dave in the butt. Dave, what the heck? It's not even my turn. Was playing a drinking game, King's Cup, and I dared a girl to kiss another girl. They ended up making out. One of those girls is now my wife and the mother of my 4-month-old daughter. This may or may not end up backfiring in about 25 years. Late edit. To clarify that one of these ladies is my wife, with whom I have a child with. In about 10 years she will tell you she is a lesbian and you'll have to move in with your brother. Then she'll start dating your daughter's pediatrician. This wasn't really a dare, but while we were playing truth or dare on a trip, there was a guy on the trip that was being really annoying by running up and down the halls and poking his head in our room and yelling. He was a spaz, I guess. Anyway, there was a guy we were playing with who is a bit crazy. We kind of dare him to take care of that guy that was getting on all our nerves. He leaves the room. The light turns on in the hallway and we hear this blood-curdling scream. Apparently he took his shorts off and spread his butt cheeks. Let's just say we didn't get bothered for the rest of the night. I was dead $20 to put as many sour warheads in my mouth as I could fit. I got 30 in there and I was going for one more when I noticed the spit running out of my mouth was red. The inner lining of my mouth was bleeding like crazy. Very painful, but hey, I got $20. When I was in high school, I was dead to snort a line of blow off a chick's bare butt. Soon as I finished, my friend's girlfriend's mom walked up and flipped a tit. Did you fight her? We were playing and things eventually escalated. We were playing a modified version of Uno with dares and it was me and one of my guy friends left. We were naked for about 20 solid turns in a row. He hit me with a draw 4 and I had to take a dare from a website. The member of the opposite sex had to rub their genitals on your face for 30 seconds. But since it was us two left, I had to have a dong rubbed all over my face with my friends watching. Basically, I'll never play truth or dare with that website again cause I got extremely unlucky and had dongs involved a lot while everyone else had at least one good thing happen to them. Well, all of the others are sexual, so mine might disappoint. Back in high school, I would play a truth or dare like game with other guys at a church camp each summer. Basically, you all set a punishment, then play the game till one or more people lose. They get the punishment. It usually starts benign, like having to shave your left leg or something, but it rapidly gets fricked up. I have personally had to rub a handful of isolate on my dong then jump into a lake. Water accelerates the isolate reaction. Drink a shot of shampoo, pee, mud, and pubes mixed together. Do blind sit-ups into another man's butt. But at least I wasn't the poor sap who had to let us wax his butt crack, or the freshman who had to take a face full of mace. TLDR. Don't play TD with church kids. They can be fricked up. I'd take the butt waxing over during a pubes and shampoo cocktail, thank you very much. A guy was dared to leap over a bonfire. 2 pallets high, maybe 3 feet across, fairly burned down but really hot. Not actually that far of a jump. So, dude goes to do it, trips, falls into the fire, sticks out his arms to break his fall and ends up burying his arms into the very, very hot coals. This bonfire had been burning for about 10 hours and receives catastrophic burns to a lot of his torso and face. The party broke very quickly while dozens of us called emergency services. I saw the dude a few years later at another party. He told me the doctors said he probably would have died of shock if he weren't so intoxicated. His arms were fully burned. He didn't have any hands because they had to amputate them due to the terrible burn trauma. His face was burned. His ears were gone. He told me his chest was pretty bad. He was in the fire for maybe a second. It's still probably the worst thing I've ever seen. Whoa, this one is freaking awful. Poor dude. I got dared to take 4 hits of acid. I had never done anything besides smoked pot or drank. I went to places I wouldn't make it back from. When I was 14, I dared my friend to shoot a window out with my BB gun. It was one of those super powerful BB guns, like a 10 pump. So he grabs the BB gun, points it right at my house, and shoots out the kitchen window. I screamed at him like, "What the frick, that's my house, you dipshit." He just started crying, got on his bike, and pedaled home. My mom was pee. His parents ended up paying for it. Never told anyone I dared him. Edit. A lot of people are calling me an butthole. I'd like to point out this was 16 years ago. I don't generally do things like this anymore. Me and that guy are still very good friends. Put your pitchforks down, folks. Was at a party. More than just drinking was involved. One of the guys there made a dare to another guy: if you stick that corn cob up your butt, I'll eat it. We all laughed. Dude dropped his pants and somehow got the corn cob up there dry. Now you just can't make a dare without following through with it. Let's just say no one was going to let him leave without his corn. He cried the whole time eating that cob. I'm sure he never made a stupid dare again. To poke a girl's boob. Hear me out. This was in 6th grade, so this was a huge freaking deal. Imagine a 6th grader with hormones just starting to rage getting to poke a boob. We're at this party and there was only one guy who smoked weed, while everyone else drank. He was high as frick and withdrawn on a chair. Someone dared him to keep his eyes open. Somehow this is the funniest dare on the thread for me. Not particularly crazy, but it was a few years ago. Me and some friends were at a birthday party playing spin the bottle. There was this one guy, I'll call him Connor, who is usually a pretty manly dude. Plays rugby, gets a lot of girls and whatever. When his bottle hit a girl he would just sorta peck them on the lips, but if it hit a dude he got extremely passionate, and I mean passionate. He closed his eyes, went for the tongue, grasped all the dude's shoulders. Every just ignored it like it was nothing, but I cannot forget the feeling of trying to keep my lips shut so hard. My buddy, male, and 2 girls and I were playing. I got dared to go into the other room with one of the girls and remove as much clothing as we dared. So we went in the room, got naked shyly, then my buddy and the other girl started cheering us on through the closed door. So we fricked and then went back to the game. Then my buddy dared the other girl to take a clothed shower with me. We decided to go nude and fricked in the shower. My friend is a good friend. My roommate in a residential treatment facility told me to dare him to pee in a bottle and squeeze it all over the kid in the next room over. He did. Never dare someone to do something just because you think they won't, because they very well just may. Well, when someone tells you to dare them to do something that specific, I think it's a pretty safe assumption they're going to do it. Playing the drinking game Kings. When you pull an ace card in Kings, you get to make up a rule. Edit. Seems people play by different rules, but this is how I've always played it. The rule was that the person who lost the game, having to down the accumulated mixture of alcohol in the das Boot we use for Kings, would also get to nominate another person to lick the back of his knee until he had finished. I didn't lose, nor did I get picked as knee licker, thankfully, but witnessing this was enough to give me nightmares for weeks. This rule is now a staple of Kings for us, and makes the game not worth playing at all, lol. When I was 14, me and 3 other girls were dared to run up and down the road in our underwear. You would have expected boys to be the ones daring us, but no, the party just consisted of girls. Someone dared me to dye my hair green for a day for $40. So I bought some $10 dye and just dumped it all over my hair, except it wouldn't wash out at all. So for half of my freshman year in HS, I got called broccoli and Rango a lot. I still got the money though. Most amazing, by which I mean dirtiest, was one girl using a strap-on with another girl anally when it's 3 feet from your face. It's pretty darn special. My best friend's salary for doing everything a dare tells him to do is $100. Our first year at Roskilde Festival, 10 people from our camp donated $10 each to watch him drink a friend's sperm. It was especially funny for me since I knew he'd do it for sure, while everyone else thought he was lying. They paid up really fast to see if he'd do it. 10-second countdown and he did it without any expression, like it was nothing. Best part was when people started to vomit all over the place and he didn't. My freshman year, my college roommate sucked an entire can of refried beans out of a pinhole in the end of a condom for $60. Back in college, played truth or dare with some friends, guys and girls, while drinking heavily. We have one friend, we will call him H, who is one of those really creepy drunks. Like, he becomes overly open and flirtatious and just all around super weird and uncomfortable to be around. Anyway, at one point during the night someone, jokingly, dares him to do a naked lap around the house. He strips to the bone without hesitation and runs around the house naked. We thought it was a little weird, but he did what was asked of him without fighting. It's so good on him, right? When he gets back inside, he just sits there with the rest of us, still naked, not bothering to put clothes back on. For the rest of the night, no matter what we were doing, he would randomly yell naked lap and do another one. He never put his clothes back on, even after like 10 naked laps. Even after truth or dare ended, it was very awkward. Also, his girlfriend was present throughout the whole ordeal, so that's when I found out they were into exhibitionism. I might be H. When I was around 18-19, a bunch of my close friends in our friend group and myself decided to play about a 50-50 mix of guys and girls. We were in 2 cars at a closed school around dusk on the weekend. Small town, not too many places to hang out. There were a lot of dares being thrown around and consequentially a lot of nude dares. My friend, we will call him Brian, that may or may not be his real name, asked for a dare and was given the dare. While we all packed into his car, a 1960s Mustang, he dropped trowel, placed his butt, and also some of his testicles, onto the windshield, and took a crap. 2 things I took away from that night. The first is, be careful what you ask for, you may not be prepared for the outcome. It was literally disgusting. And the second was, who the frick is gonna clean up that mess? Since it was his car, and I came with others, I wasn't so concerned. I don't believe he thought it through, as he did it on the driver's side, and he didn't have enough glove box napkins to clean his butt afterwards, and his windshield. In 7th grade we dared my one friend to lick my cat's butthole, which happened to somehow be moist and crummy at the same time. This wasn't a fleeting thing either, he spent a good 3 seconds with his entire tongue going across my cat's rectum. He licked much of the crumbs and liquid crap off the anus and I was truly astounded that somebody would actually do this. TLDR, my friend violated my cat's anus with his tongue. The way you described that is freaking rancid, dude. C's good for all involved sex story man, I went to the wrong parties in high school. C's really gross story man, I went to the right parties in high school. Just a few weeks ago we were at a pool party, and the nudity portion came around and we dared a girl to press her boobs against a random house in our friend's neighborhood, and a guy pee in a cup and another one poured it on himself. I was watching my uncle and a couple of his friends play it in the backyard and they dared some chick to run around the yard topless and she did, and I watched. Well, it was a game in college of about 8 or so people that mostly dealt with drinking tequila and little else. Half eventually left for another party while the rest of us kept playing. The remaining 2 girls were bi, and had in fact previously dated one another. I was dared by one of them to fondle the breasts of the other, who happily obliged, while she said aren't they so perfect. Eventually it was just me, the redhead, who dared me to fondle breasts, and a gay friend of ours. For the record, I am a straight open-minded male. We go to the redhead's room and the game devolves into us taking turns daring one another to do things to the remaining person. No one is clothed at this point, thanks to tequila. Our gay friend is dared to kiss me, and I figure that, heck, this is college, I might as well experiment now. So I go along with it. Ultimately, the redhead is straddling my chest and making out with me while I play with her ample breasts. The fellow is behind her, going down on me. Eventually it becomes apparent to all of us that I'm not turning bisexual anytime soon, and our gay friend leaves. The redhead and I spent the rest of the night and morning sexing up one another. Nothing ever came of the experience, really. Redhead wasn't interested in dating, and the fellow and I remained friends despite my lack of reciprocation. Makes for a good story though. Alright, here it goes. German private school, so many rich butt kids, a lot of parties and a lot of daddy issues. At the time I was 17. So my best friend and I are talking to a bunch of girls, like 6, and they wanted to play truth or dare. So here I am, drunk as F, and it's my turn, so I ask this girl I like, what's the most fricked up thing you've ever witnessed? Well, I once found my mum fricking licking our maid's pee. Told my dad and caught the 3 of them fricking a couple of minutes later. I know her parents, her dad got a random high five from me. Legend. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.